Hey friends, it is Lane with Tim's Nation. I am here today to talk to you a little bit about the Chaos Knights. Army. I'm taking into DJ today. Yeah, it's going to be a short video, guys. My army's got 3 data sheets. Nothing real fancy here. It's a Chaos Knights War Dog army. I know this is pretty common in the meta. You see this exact list pretty frequently. Chaos Knights are almost at a mono build now. I don't have any big Chaos Knights. I just have the little ones, and they're all little knights that I converted up from Imperial armigers. But they're fun. Sometimes I just like to turn my brain off and have just 3 data sheets. Really, for the most part, just 2 that I'm actually using. Their data sheets are really good. The carnivore and the brigand, their base data sheets are real strong. The detachment has a couple of good stratagems. The basic detachment of making people take battle shocks if they're below full strength is neat, I guess. We'll see how often it comes into play here. I know some of the stratagems in the list proc off of your enemy being battle shocked, so that's just something I'm gonna have to remember. I don't play my Chaos Knights very often, so correct me when I forget something or miss something. Because usually I'm just using them as allies with my Death Guard. But yeah, so we're going to go through the list here. It's going to go real fast, guys, because we don't have a whole lot to talk about. But here it is. And we are using Traitorous Lance. I'm not using the other detachment where you take cultists and that sort of thing. Just running good old Traitorous Lance. So here we go. All right, this is 1,995 points of Chaos Knights in the Traitorous Lance. Yeah, our character is, our warlord is the War Dog Stalker. My Stalker has got the Melta Spear and then the Chain Blade. Let's see, I gotta use the right. I'm using Imperial terms here. Let me look at it here. So he has the Demon Breath Spear and the Reaper Chain Talon, and he's got an indirect Havoc Launcher on top. So his special rule is that he gets +1 to wound if he is attacking things, and he is more than. Let me read it here. Each time this model makes an attack and targets an enemy unit, if there are no other units from your opponent's army within 6 inches of the target, add 1 to the wound roll. So this guy is kind of a scavenger. He's going to go pick off the weak, alone units that are stragglers in the opponent's army. He's mostly just going to sit on my deployment zone objective, stay there, stay alive, and deal with anybody that gets close to him or tries to take my deployment zone objective. And he does have the enhancement, of course. The enhancement allows me to sticky objectives. That's the Aura of Terror, so I can use him to sticky objectives. Still, I'm probably not going to push him up on the table much because he's kind of 50-50 in that he doesn't have the same datasheet abilities that the Carnivore and Brigand have. He's not hitting on 2s like they are. So, yeah, he'll probably just hang back there, sticky objective. Maybe later in the game I might have him move out, sticky some more objectives. I am playing against Grey Knights today, and Grey Knights, they uppy downy so much that sticking an objective doesn't really make sense because they'll just drop down on it if I leave an objective unoccupied. So, but it is the meta enhancement that people take because it can be useful in other matchups. Now, moving on. We also have 6 of the War Dog Brigands. The Brigands are the Shooty Knights. So to start off, their data sheet is so strong. They've got the Avenger Chain Cannon, which has 12 shots, strength 6, AP 1 damage. And their special rules, when they shoot the nearest eligible target, they're getting +1 AP, which is just so good. Especially the fact that they hit on 2s. So juicy. And he also has a Demon Breath Spear, which is 2 attacks hitting on 2s, strength 12, AP 4, D6 damage. Melta 4, yeah, the Meltas are Melta 4. So again, the special rule is the +1 AP, which is so good. Absolutely necessary going into Grey Knights with their really good armor saves. So we'll be relying on that. Now, my Brigands all have the stubbers on top. The Diabolus heavy stubbers. I sculpted several of them this way and glued those autocannons or the stubbers on there. And a couple of them I put some Nurglings on there, manning the guns on top, just because they're cute and adorable. I did magnetize some of the other ones. When I first started building these guys, I thought that perhaps if there was an enemy unit out of sight that was nearer than the one you were shooting your direct weapons at, then maybe the Havoc launcher would mess up your AP, just depending on how the wording was interpreted and in terms of nearest eligible target getting the extra AP. So because these guys are going to be going after targets that they can see right away, if they're within 18 inches, they're going to get a guaranteed 6 shots with the stubber as opposed to D6 with the multi-launcher. So if you're taking this in a tournament, in a solo tournament or even a team's tournament, you're probably going to take Havoc launchers, the indirect shots on all of them, just because having 13 indirect D6 splash, strength 5, AP0, 1 damage, multi-launchers, indirect shots is great for going into those 1 wound infantry like Eldar, Orcs, Sisters, Imperial Guard. It's going to allow you to reach out and do damage to things you can't see. But in today's list, all my brigands have the stubbers on top, just so you know what my reasoning is behind that. So that, yep, 6 brigands. And then, of course, the last data sheet in this list, we have 6 of the carnivores. All the carnivores I have the indirect multi-launchers on, the Havoc launchers on them. Of course, they're melee weapons. They have the Slaughter Claw, which is 6 attacks, hitting on 2s. Again, the base data sheet of hitting on 2s is so strong. Strength 12, AP3, D6 plus 2 damage. So it hits really hard, does a lot of damage. They also have the Chain Talon. The Chain Talon sweep profile is 12 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 8, AP2, 1 damage. There's a strike profile for the Chain Talon, but it's the same number of attacks as the Slaughter Claw, so it's just not as good. It's lower strength and lower damage. So you're either going to do the Chain Talon sweep or the Slaughter Claw strike. And honestly, into Grey Knights, I'm not going to do the 1 damage sweeps. It's always going to be the Slaughter Claw attacks. So it's always going to be strength 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 12, AP3, D6 plus 2 damage. Now, the carnivores have that extra 2 inches of movement, so they do have a 14-inch move, and their special ability for really good. They reroll charges for free, so I don't need to spend a CP on charge rerolls. Instead, if I've got CP, I can spend it on the tank shock, which I'm probably going to be doing a whole lot today, just going into a high armor enemy. So that's it. That's the list. 3 data sheets, guys. For the most part, I'm going to be using 2 of them. One guy's just going to hang back on the deployment zone objective and fire his little Havoc launcher off every turn. These guys definitely have a lot of strength, definitely have a lot of power. It will be a bit of a challenge going into Grey Knights because everything has a 2-up armor save. Obviously, the Meltas, when they go through, will do great work, but they don't have that many shots. The punching from the carnivores is strong, but I'm going to be going into large numbers of infantry, and yeah, they're just not going to get that high of volume. I have 13 units on the table, but none of them have like a super high volume of shots. Interestingly, with something I found which is similar to the Imperial ones, Imperial Knight variants, is that they actually don't do that well. They're not that efficient into Marine bodies, because they either have 1 damage attacks or higher damage, like 3 or 4 damage attacks. You don't have a perfect profile for going into 2 wound Marines, where it's just 2 damage repetitively. So they're not going to be super efficient into picking up lots of Grey Knights. However, they do have high OC. Every one of them is OC 8, and they have a lot of battle shock shenanigans. So I'll be making DJ take battle shocks, which can certainly affect his stratagems, especially those purifiers. They want to use their strat for the re-rolling wounds. If I get them battle shocked somehow, that can kind of slow down their ability to use that. So really, the only shenanigans I'm looking to do is I'm going to be tank shocking wherever I can to get those mortal wounds through. I don't think this Grey Knight detachment really has any mortal wound defense. And of course, there's a strat in there that lets me have 2 war dogs move through walls. I think they have FAQ'd this or changed this in the balanced data slate, so now it can be used in the charging phase, or the movement phase, or the charge phase, so you can use it in either one. And 1 CP gives you the ability to do that with 2 war dogs, which will be kind of handy. And then there's a stratagem that you can use in the shooting phase or the fight phase when multiple war dogs are attacking the same unit. It gives you sustained, either shooting or fighting, depending on what phase it is. And if your target's battle shock and sustained, is proccing on 5s. So that's definitely something I want to take advantage of, because I'm going to need that volume to get through all these 2-up armored Space Marine bodies. So if you were looking for more description of what I'm doing, that's about it. I don't play them very often, so again, definitely throw some comments down there if I make mistakes or suggestions how I can play them better. And hopefully we avoid the curse of knights being played on YouTube. Most creators, when they run knights, not a lot of people watch the videos. I don't know if people aren't really interested or they don't think 3 data sheets is very exciting. I don't know. But definitely, you guys chose this matchup. In our post-game chat last week, we asked you what you thought would be a good, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I apologize, 2 weeks ago, when we played the Grey Knights, you asked what a good challenge would be for the Grey Knights to play against, and we got a lot of votes for Chaos Knights, so we're going to run those today, see how they perform, see, kind of see if we put a little stat check into the Grey Knights. So yeah, follow me over to the battle report, guys, and let's see how they do.